Hey, howdy. Got a very busy day today, so this is gonna be, unfortunately, this is gonna be another day of wandering and doing dailies and weeklies, which is still doing stuff. I'm slowly working my way towards that Diamond Expedition Completionist badge. But today is gonna be today is a weird day because today is a day of stuff that I have to do for work and for school and for personal projects, and I'm kind of like I'm doing a bit more of a juggling act than I usually do. Or I think I'm going, well, what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm going to, there you go. I'm gonna record a video, and then I'm going to break for lunch, and then I'm gonna work on some work stuff, and then I'm gonna record another video, and then I'm gonna do some more work stuff, basically back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But in other news, I've been busy with a bunch of things. I've been busy with work, I've been busy with school, I've been busy with filling out my backlog a little bit more, especially since a little game by the name of Hollow Knight Silksong just released, so I am not immune to propaganda. I finally sat down and played Hollow Knight for the first time. And if you haven't played it yourself, it's great. And I'm not going to give anything away about Hollow Knight Silksong, but it is so far, it is very, very, very challenging. But honestly, I don't mind. It's really fun. It has been, though it has been very funny to see a bunch of content creators play Silksong for the first time and then get their ass beat. That's not supposed to deride those content creators because I had the exact same experience. There's one area in particular that just consistently everyone gets bodied by it, and it's hilarious because like I'm not exempt from that. I also got bodied by that area, and the boss in that area took me over an hour, I think. It was very, very challenging. But it feels a little bit, dare I say, Silksong feels more Dark Souls inspired than Hollow Knight does, which is already a long, like, Hollow Knight is basically a Souls game in the way that it carries itself and ideas about, like, difficulty and resource management. Oh, Cerulean Skull's right over here. But, like, it has very interesting ideas about a lot of things that feel, like, hand-picked from the Souls series to be very interesting, but also to not be super obtrusive into the developers, into like the dev team's ideas. Like for, like the idea of losing your geo on death and having to go reclaim it. Or the concept of a dying world gripped by a calamity, and the world has slowly just and have accepted their unfortunate fate, and it's up to you to either right the wrong or continue the cycle. Ooh. I feel like that was supposed to have sound. Is this a one-way path? This might be a one-way path. Yup, okay. Hello up there. And so far, Silksong seems even more Soulsy. The one thing I will say is that Team Cherry seems to absolutely hate the idea of retreading old ground, and I love that for them. And this is a very common, dare I call it a problem, with a lot of indie developers. Is they never want lightning to strike twice. They never want to just do the same thing a second time. They want to improve. They want to try new things. They want to, like, especially when they have the capital to do it. They want to do different weird things that, like, subvert the audience's expectations, or try new things that have never been done before. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think of, like, Everhood 2, Darkest Dungeon 2. Silksong so far seems like it does that with a lot more grace. Because Darkest Dungeon 2, I've heard very mixed things about. Some people like it a bit. Some people think that some people think that it's a direct downgrade. It seems like it's a mix of both. That there are some aspects like the graphics that are absolutely gorgeous, but the gameplay feels a little bit more odd and much more roguelike-esque than the original game, which felt more like I'd almost compare it to something like XCOM, like a character management game, like a resource management game where your resources are whole-ass characters with personalities. I guess the personality bit doesn't really come into play in XCOM, but like, you have a bunch of characters, the characters will like interact with each other, you can make cool combos, but if you use those combos wrong, the characters will just kill each other. Everhood 2 was more of a problem of, I think bad experiences really were what killed Everhood 2. Because for the original Everhood, it ended up in development hell for the longest time because a whole bunch of burnout from the first guy who worked on it. And then the second guy came in and did a bunch of work on the engine, and then the two of them like regrouped together and finished the game. And Everhood 2 strikes me as a game that has a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that just didn't make it into the final project. Lots of like scenes that were left in the game, or like battles that got scrapped, or ideas that were thought about but never acted upon. And you end up with this weird, it's almost like a dream. It's just a lot of ideas that are connected, like the slimmest of slim connections. Like, just enough to motivate a game, so that it isn't just like a collection of weird short films. Honestly, I didn't mind it as much as a lot of people seem to have hated that game, but I thought it was very cool and interesting for what it was. Did a lot of very neat things. It's just, I just wish it had more of a story. Okay, where? Oh. Oh! It's a sheet of paper. Oh no. Whoa. Yeah, shit. That's disturbing. Where is... Oh, there's a whole area I missed. I've just been walking down the halls. There's a cafeteria and everything. But yeah, a lot of people seem like they hated Everhood 2, particularly the ending, which, I get it. Based on the beta footage, it seems like the original concept for the ending was a lot more involved. How do you... I wonder how you cycle whether it's day or night. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it transfers you to the night version of Balloon Park. It doesn't require it to be night. This isn't a Garden World situation. But yeah, so far Silksong is doing a lot of things that I frankly wasn't expecting, and I guess it's the product of, oh my god, that's really cute. Hang on. That's just a bomb. Let me see if I can get the lunch tray again. Nah, it doesn't look like it. That was adorable. I don't know if I've ever even seen that food item before. One of these days I do need to fill out the rest of Snack Gallery, because I imagine I have most of it by this point, because at one point I tried to go out of my way to do it, and I end up with all of the coffee cup all of the coffee cup world vending machine treats, because it changes based on what effect you have. But I gotta go back and see which ones I'm actually missing, and then like maybe attempt to do that. That one is much more of a headache because it's random chance. I am eventually going to have to go back and grind for more money. We'll have to see on where I even grind. There you are. Oh, wait, is this a phone connection? No, it's not. Interesting. There's just a connection to Mini Nexus here now. Um... God, this map is so busy. There's so many connections in here. There's another Nexus that got added relatively recently, and it is the cutest damn thing. I'm definitely... It might not be this video, because we're already, like, kind of pretty far along, and I want to... I know that a lot of people only watch a small amount of these. So if I'm showing it, I want to show it near the beginning so that people actually see it. Make it the thumbnail and everything. But it's really cool. Ooh, wait a second. It's a whole cutscene. That's awesome. Almost makes you think of Ib. Okay. And then Crying Mir- I need to remember which one's even Crying Mural World, because I think this one is Potato Starch. No, this one's Crying Mural. I think the rapidly flashing one, this is Potato Starch World. So they don't make as much logical sense as I was expecting them to. Crossing Archipelago. Ooh. I really like the current state of Spelud's worlds. Because like after the whole situation with like Fantasy Library and Innocent Dream, I appreciate that all of the stuff is still like all the stuff is still there. Oh wait, I don't think I even needed to do this. Yeah, Constellation World's just right here. Oh, jerk. Okay, what season even is it? I'm going to assume it's not summer. Or I'm going to assume it's not, winter. Yeah, it's not winter. I forget how you check this. I think you wake up and then you go to the balcony when you fall back asleep. And it'll like, show you... Let me just check randomizers. Ooh, that's a paper presentation schedule. I gotta talk about my oop, is winter? It's fall. Okay. I gotta talk about the new class that I have because it's so utterly fascinating, even if I'm bad at it. So I worked something out with my professor, and with my advisors. Now it's winter. Now we should be good. So now I'm no longer taking computer graphics. Instead, I'm taking machine learning for image processing, which is a dope class. It's a high-level machine learning class that kind of just goes start to finish how to build like a complex, ridiculous model for image synthesis and image processing. It's really, really cool. Boop, 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 boop. It's up here. The small problem, and this seems to be a very common problem. Oh my god, this goat. Oh my god, this goat. What a little guy. Um... these palace worlds have never been my favorite. Though they do make for nice shortcuts between Aderigop's worlds. But it has the problem with a lot of grad school classes, where after a certain point, the professor just throws up their hands and goes, you know what, you teach it. There's a ton of student presentations, there's a ton of students teaching the class. I don't quite understand why that aspect in particular is so common. I almost, not to throw shade at the professors or anything, but I feel like part of it is because the professors already have so much garbage on their plate, and they just they just don't want to be bothered with it. They want to, like, minimize the amount of work that they themselves have to do for the class so that they can focus on their research, which I get it. And especially the guy that I have is absolutely brilliant. Like, he has published a ton of papers, he's been cited in a ton of papers, he definitely knows his way around machine learning. And he's one of the few professors I've had that has actually attempted to explain this stuff rather than just show us slides. Because, unfortunately, I have the guy again where I had a professor last semester who was genuinely one of the worst teachers I've had in my life. I hate to say it, but he was it was a combination of everything that would make me kind of dislike a class, but it's all happening at the exact same time. Oh, Seafood Abyss leads there. Okay. So, a combination of everything. He had a very thick Chinese accent, so it was hard to really understand what he was saying, which, you know, that's a skill issue. I'll admit that's a skill issue on my part. On top of that, he also mumbled. He was very rude. He was extremely strict on attendance. And he had a policy where every time you missed a class, unless it was for a very real reason, first time you missed class, you would lose 1 point in your final grade, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, on and on, basically as many times as you missed class. Which is really brutal compared to so many of the other courses that I'm taking. The other problem is that he is a deeply boring professor. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason why he's so strict on attendance is that the first year that he taught, after a certain point, like, only 3 or 4 people showed up out of a 20-person class, and he was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Which, reasonable. I'd like to believe if I were ever a professor, then I would at least attempt to make things interesting. But I wonder what I would even teach. Like, it's weird to think about. Gallery of Naught. Oh, wait, that's a path. I didn't realize. Ah, cool. Neat. Actually, I like this place. But, like, okay, I've had, like, issues that I've had with the course so far. The other issue was the course itself, which was already dry as sand. It was a course on information retrieval, which I might have actually talked about this class before. Information retrieval is bar none the most boring class I've ever taken, and it didn't even have much to do with the professor that was teaching it. The main issue is just that Information retrieval, the best way to describe it, it's the tubes that connect the internet. It's stuff like ooh, rainbow tiles maze, hell yeah. It's the tubes that connect the internet. So it's like, let's suppose that you have a document. What's the best way to get information from that document? Well, okay, now the document is a large series of documents. Now, instead of a document, it's the entire internet. All the same, how do you do this quickly? How do you do this efficiently? Cool concept, but it is unbelievably tedious because it's just, you know, it's kind of hard to motivate it after a certain point. It's like, okay, we're going to be talking about web scrapers and the internet and the mathematical formulas that they use to chart paths across the internet. And it's like, why would anyone be interested in this unless they are in a field where they're already being taught how to do it by people with more experience in the industry? We're in a bit of a weird paradox. Shell Lake. I'm going to assume Shell Lake is in the underwater section. That makes sense. Also, one moment. Taking a drink of water. I still have my insanely large, it's like a thermos full of water that was gifted to me by my aunt. And it's awesome. I really like it. It's also huge, so I had to grab a Chick-fil-A straw last time I went to Chick-fil-A, because it's the only, like, fast food brand that has a plastic straw that's also big enough to fit in it's basically a jug. Okay. It's here? Yeah, that's it. Ooh. Hello. Really? Hiccups right now? Well, apologies if that comes through on the mic. Usually it doesn't. Yeah, let's just keep doing this. Vibrant lampposts. But yeah, back to what I was saying. The class was deeply, deeply boring, and the professor really didn't help matters, because he was reading almost directly off of a slide deck that was not his. And it almost makes me wonder if he even knew what he was teaching. Which, again, sounds really mean, but putting myself in his shoes, I suppose it makes sense. Where is check disk? Oh, there you are. So it's down a floor, through the door, and then it's that first door. Okay, so it should be up here. It's this door right here. I did not realize that this place has actual connections. I thought it was just basically just a big shit post. Let's see. Yeah, oh my god, there's so much here. I've never explored much around here before. Because I think you used to have to do the Glitch Nexus event to access this stuff, and then, like, that was right when it was added, and then they made it so that that wasn't the case anymore. Corrupted Nexus, that's what it's called. I still have not seen that event. I don't know if I'm ever going to, because the chance is really low. Um... North exit. Um... Okay, cool. You know what? That is a cool concept. I actually don't mind that. Oh, Lord. Yeah, and it teleports you around randomly. My God. Oh, this is what's the word for this? This is a clairvoyance area. There's so many different, gives 300,000 Yume if you slept over 99999 days. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that. Really interesting. Would not have expected a mechanic like this. Huh. Because there used to be stuff that would very cleanly tell you what your variable 44 value was. And I think this accomplishes that purpose, sort of, because it has, like, aspects to it. Like, this is related with weather, season. I think there was one that said, like, yeah, if variable 44 is between a certain value, 6 digits related to your variable 44, you could use this pretty easily to chart what your variable 44 is. And other methods have been taken out in the past for breaking immersion too much. I don't know if this is also going to get taken out for the same reason. I guess we'll see. It's been in the game for a bit, so I think at this point everyone is seemingly fine with it, but maybe we'll see. Vitamin World. Vitamin World? Oh, it's down at the... Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen this connection. Whoa, oh my god, the shading. The shading is gorgeous. Is this by, hang on. Let me check the author on this. This art style's familiar. It's Accelerating Wind. Yeah, no way. Instead of Weed World, it's now Vitamin World. Yeah, shoot. It connects with Bacteria World as well. DNA room with cake. So cool. Such weird little creature. Oh, false shoal. Hmm. But yeah, it was pretty clear that the professor had taken a slide deck from online, and I know this because I found that exact same slide deck after not even 10 minutes of looking. I just looked up information retrieval slide deck and immediately found one from Stanford and then went, oh god, this is the exact same slides. It's a little concerning. But after a certain point, I didn't even have to worry about that because, roughly halfway through the semester, he just left it in the hands of his TA. And the funniest part about all of that is that, I don't remember for certain. I'm pretty sure the guy that I have for machine learning is a teacher assistant, and I'm 90% sure he is that TA. So it's funny how that works out. Unfortunately, I still have that same teacher for a different class, Deep Learning, which is going to be a headache, because, you know, yeah. All those same, like, methods that he had before, he still has. He's still kind of a jerk about attendance. Oh, right. Am I gonna have to interact with the grave, or is this event already going to be done? This might be a whole thing. No, I'm fine. Interesting. Hey, Aha Gecko's house. This character is adorable. I forget what the shtick is with this. I don't know if there's a... Surely there must be a Panika's house event here. Ow. I see. So you can disconnect the lamp. Apologies in advance. I want to see this. This seems like a pretty direct reference to Big C. There we go. Hello. Fairly certain I've seen this before, but this is dope. I'm always a fan of weird Panicos. Right, yeah, that door does not lead anywhere. Oh, and that's a slow fade out. I think there is something over here. It's a whole area. Interesting. Surely this isn't the only way you get here. Oh, it is. And this leads to Owl's Trap. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that... I believe Uboa... The name Uboa is, It's like it's a Japanese onomatopoeia for a laugh, I think? So owl, I'm going to assume, is Japanese onomatopoeia for a scream. That would fit in with this being a pretty direct reference. Alright. Well, I think that's everything. And we're a little bit over time, but I don't care at this point. My original plan was, I'm gonna do these in roughly 30-minute installments. No longer than 30 minutes. Nah, it's fine. That's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.